What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's going on, man?
I keep thinking about rolling back to Grand Theft Auto 3 some more.
Really?
I forgot how much I liked that game.
Dude, I got rolled last night in Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. We had a guy in our party that was level 96.
Holy.
Unbelievable. I know, I have no idea. Dude has played nothing else since the release of
I bet there's a credit card charge that's pretty big on that guy's account.
And he nailed me as a ghost twice, and it was just, he was unstoppable. He was a ghost, and we, like, in the nick of time, he just scurried away. He played, I'm trying to remember what the name of the ghost was. I can't remember exactly, but you get the first ghost, he's the second ghost. Dude, that one is fast. Like, he and he was gone. I was like, wow, that thing can move, but he doesn't have a lot of range. So there's perks, right? There's little pros and cons per ghost.
But
yeah. I played as Basher last night. He is like a turtle. That ghost is slow. And then I got the first ghost is leveled all the way up, and he now looks like Slimer.
You're the best ghost in our team, that's for sure.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? We'll be going live this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for an hour to play Ghostbusters. Come over, hang out with us. We'll be live here just like we are now, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. And we're working on a couple other little things too. We'll see. But we'll be live for sure with Ghostbusters Thursday. But if you can't join us live, make sure to hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, today's show. As Sony brings more titles to Steam, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection hasn't favored as well. Kind of a bit of a weak launch over on Steam. We'll talk about that. Microsoft missed out on Genshin Impact, and after 20 years, Scott, Perfect Dark is coming to PC.
Oh, that's something that I didn't expect to see, actually.
Well, I don't think anybody did, because we'll get into how that's being produced. And
now, do you think it's Perfect Dark 2?
No. No. Let's get into Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. Has disappointing launch on Steam. It comes from Mark over at comicbook.com. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection is the latest PlayStation port to PC. The title dropped on Steam last week, and while Sony has seen a lot of success bringing PlayStation games to the platform, it seems the collection might be the exception. Well done. According to Steam DB and via Video Game Chronicles, the game's all-time peak had a whopping 10,851 players, far less than games like Marvel Spider-Man and God of War have managed to see. While those two are much bigger franchises for Sony, even Days Gone managed to far surpass Uncharted's numbers so far. It's interesting, Scott. You played, the reason why I brought this here is because you played it. You played Legacy of Thieves Collection with Steve and reviewed it for the show.
It's quite surprising to me that it's been, the lowest of the lows in Sony's bringing over to PC. I thought that was a great idea, personally.
Sure.
But also, Uncharted was amazing to me. It was very exciting. And I'm surprised that more people haven't jumped on via anywhere. Like, I would have confidently said, you put that on Switch and it'll sell to another 1 million people.
Sure. Do you think, though, it has something to do with the fact that a lot of people have already played Uncharted back in the day from PlayStation? Like, this was on a PlayStation 4. We can play it on PlayStation 5, and now they brought it over to Steam. Is it one of those, it's just been so far played by everybody else on PlayStations that there isn't enough? But when you take a look at, like, how many people on Steam have a PlayStation as well? So they probably already played it, right? Like, there's a lot to kind of factor in. This is the opportunity for those who have never played an Uncharted game to get in and play it, which is well worth it. Wouldn't you say, Scott?
Oh, yes, I would. Now, God of War was also definitely massively enjoyed by the people in PlayStation, but I believe it also hit pretty high numbers on Steam. I don't recall exactly if it set any records, but
I'm not sure either, but this was out just last week, like they're saying. But when it launched on PS4, like it made a huge splash. So we'll see what goes on here. And well, dude, you know they're not done, right? They're going to be bringing more PlayStation titles over. This one not being as successful as others doesn't really mean much, I think, in Sony's grand vision of what's going to happen here. I think this is a stepping stone to get people into the world of Uncharted. And as we discussed yesterday, what the future of Uncharted looks like, maybe in 10 years when we see another Uncharted, perhaps, give or take, is when people go, oh yeah, I played that back on Steam, and now we're going to be over here. But they have such a following. Naughty Dog has such a following on the PlayStation for the PlayStation fans that another Uncharted wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings, and I think the majority of us have already probably played it. Scott, you're probably one of the few who hasn't played it, right? It's kind of one of, I think that's what it really comes down to.
Glaring blind spot, one of several on the Sony side for me. But what do you think is going to be the next game if they do port something over? And they will, I'm certain. But
yeah,
what would you hazard a guess? I'm hoping for Ghost of Tsushima myself.
Well, Miles Morales is coming, as far as we know, and I think Ghost is a fantastic pick. God of War Ragnarok is something that hopefully would be in the future. How far in the future, I don't know, right? Like some of us outlets here are already working on our review of it, but they don't do the day and date, which is really almost like a misstep, I think, at this point, Scott, when you compare it to Xbox and what they're doing over there. And everybody wants to be everywhere now. Sony still wants you to focus just on the PlayStation platform and be kind of ingrained in that ecosystem. And that works because that makes sales for PlayStation, and they keep hitting banger after banger and coming out with massive titles. God of War Ragnarok is going to be one of those massive titles next week. Is it? Or a week after? I believe it's the week after, actually. So about 2 weeks out, right? So much anticipation is around this game, but man, to see that come to PC would be a huge feat in itself, I think. But how long do you think that's going to be before we get that? We have definitely a better chance of getting Ghost of Tsushima there, because Ghost of Tsushima came out, I think last year we got Iki Island, which is a DLC for it. So what was it, a year before that? So that's 2 years now, Scott, I would say, roughly, give or take. So we have to see. That would be nice to come over. They're working on a movie as well, and of course the sequel. So why not get people invested into the first one over on PC as well, and then maybe you can pull them in on PlayStation. I don't know. Almost
as a marketing campaign, bring it to more people, and right before the next sequel. I think that's a great idea. I'm wondering do you think PlayStation makes big money on the console sales particularly, or do you think there's more money in collecting? I'm not sure if royalties is the right word, but collecting sales off of each game. Because I think the Xbox model is they almost give away the consoles back in the time of 360.
No, absolutely. And PlayStation's the same. PlayStation doesn't make much off the console, if anything at all. It took them years to make anything off the PlayStation 3 and 4, and it's no different here when it comes to the latest console. It's always about making software sales, and that's what powers the platform kind of thing. So no, it's all about the sales in the game itself. So if you're getting ready then to get the hype around Ghost of Tsushima 2, bring the first one to PC. It puts us all in the media hands once again for the PC version of the game, because now we're all talking about, hey, you gotta go play this game because now it's coming to Steam and this, that, and the other. And everybody goes, oh man, you know what? I'm gonna jump back into the first one because I'm thinking about it right now as we talk about it. So it's kind of one of those things.
I want to play the co-op with you.
Oh, it's so much fun, Scott. I'm telling you, dude, go get that PS5. You won't have to wait.
Funny fact, as soon as I came online today, that's what he says. Go get a PlayStation 5, by the way. They're over here.
Just saying, you need to catch up because there's so many games over on PlayStation. Scott, what game it didn't come to Xbox is kind of what they're hoping for. It was Microsoft wanted Genshin Impact like game for Xbox. They missed the opportunity. Here's what's going on. It's because from Jordan Midler over at VGC. Microsoft is looking for its own Genshin Impact-like game in order to appeal more to the Chinese market, according to a new report. Reuters notes that the company is accelerating plans to find an equivalent title to the action role-playing game, which has seen over $4 billion of revenue in 2 years for MiHoYo. dude. That's,
Mihoyo.
thank you. That is an absolute feat in itself to think that's even possible.
It spread like wildfire. And even to this day, every couple weeks when they drop a new character, Twitter gets taken over. Everything's trending Genshin.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's my Twitter because I'm a little closer to the video game stuff than most. But
sure.
Holy, is it a massive cultural item.
Absolutely. Genshin Impact, an anime-style open-world game, is monetized through gacha mechanics in which players pay for the chance to earn special characters they can then use in-game.
That's the part where I check out because it's all
loot boxes.
Yeah,
right. That's exactly what it is, and it's like I don't want to do that anymore. We're past
I regard
those
loot boxes to be a stain nowadays. Yeah,
man, I thought we were really past that stage of the gaming industry. Right, we're now more into the battle pass season kind of stuff where we can see what our goals are in front of us to achieve the things we want, not just a roll of the dice, hope for the best, cross your fingers, and go crap. That's not what I wanted at all. Right.
I'm thinking potentially, do you think Chinese markets are not quite past that? Maybe
absolutely
geographically
not. If they've just made
closer.
Dude, absolutely not. If they made $4 billion, everybody's like, roll these dice.
We're like 15 years past horse armor, right? But I don't know if they've experienced the same kind of timeline.
Yeah, the gaming market for the Chinese side of the industry is completely different than the Western market, right? I think that's the difference. A lot of them are on the go. A lot of the money has been made for Genshin Impact on mobile, but it's also came over to PlayStation, and PlayStation helped fund the project to bring it over. So it's had quite a partnership here. So while Sony doesn't own the Genshin Impact IP, it did partner with the developer early in the game's development and assisted in bringing it to market. The game is on PC and mobile devices, although the console version of the game is exclusively on PlayStation. So now Microsoft is kind of going, crap, did we ever miss out here? According to Reuters sources, Microsoft regrets missing out on Genshin and had briefly spoken to the team when Genshin was being developed, but talks fell through. Too bad for Microsoft on that account, because yeah, that's a huge game, dude. Every time, so I was looking on it, they launched a trailer 2 days ago. I believe the trailer you're seeing right now, and on their YouTube page, it actually had 1.5 million views in 2 days.
Holy.
Like in 2 days. In 2 days. Like, that's how big this game is. Have you played Genshin Impact at all?
I did, yeah. I think I probably spent about 3 or 4 hours.
Really? It was a lot more than I did.
Yeah.
I watched from the distance. My son played, and I just kind of watched him. I can't. It's the voice acting, just it throws me right off.
It's hard for me to withhold my judgment because this isn't quite the place for it. But it felt a lot like Breath of the Wild, but
yeah,
an empty kind of cardboard version of it because of the gacha mechanics, and that was the focus. Whereas Breath of the Wild is milking 30 years of nostalgia.
Yeah, absolutely. The art style is absolutely amazing. I think it's beautiful. I think the game is stunning. It does
look very nice.
It does. I just can't get into the game, unfortunately. I wanted to, but that whole genre just escapes me, and you'll catch me on everything else. Kind of, yeah, I'd rather play a horror game, Scott. So,
well, lucky for you, there are several coming. That's right. And I do recommend Scorn. Actually, I genuinely do recommend.
Oh man,
it's not going to jump out and terrify you. But you will get the creepies.
Well, there you go, Scott. One game you have been talking about for a very long time is the classic shooter Perfect Dark is unofficially coming to PC 20 years later. It comes John Walker over Kotaku.
Yeah. I played it unofficially on Project 64 back in high school. So did I beat them to the punch?
Maybe. Decompiling a game's code is a process which involves taking machine code and restoring it to a human readable code. Using a combination of meticulous experimentation, months of painstaking effort, a human effort, and witchcraft. Previously, we've seen Nintendo 64 games like Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time receive the same treatment, leading to PC versions with vastly improved graphics and resolution. Now that a team has successfully completed the monumental task of doing the same for Perfect Dark, it can expect to see versions popping for PC in the next few months. Scott, basically what they're saying, but they've also kind of gone in here and said and asked everybody to do is use it as the ROM, the legal ROM, as an interpretation of that. So you're not really stealing the game, but it's still kind of stealing the game.
What they're saying is you should really own it first before you use it as a ROM. Remember back in the day? You probably remember better than I. You could copy whatever game you wanted. It was yours.
Absolutely. The thievery that went on back in the day was. I
had a friend that owned every PS2 title ever in existence.
Yep.
It took up a whole bookshelf.
Dude, just mod. There's so many modded systems out there. Like back in the day, it was nuts. But after 20 years, let's just play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let somebody play this game because it's been 20 years. Now, we also know
it's like how Doom... Well, Doom began as freeware, actually, so it is quite different. But I was going to say, now, at this point in time, I'm pretty certain to this day, you can just find and download the official Doom.
Sure. Well, now we also know that the Initiative is working on Perfect Dark as well. So there's that to take into account. When do you think we'll see the new Perfect Dark, Scott?
Without being too optimistic, I want to say 2024, just to kind of temper my expectations a little, because we heard about it several years ago. Was that 2018, 2019 when it flashed?
Was it that long ago? I was thinking 2020, but maybe, yeah.
Well, no, it was certainly before 2020, because I remember it from back when, I think they announced Fable and Perfect Dark. Announced, but they just showed the icon.
Man, where's Fable?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Playground, I want to see Fable. Show me something.
I don't know which one I want to get to the market first.
Fable for me.
Fable. It is really tight for me.
Maybe when it comes to light, we'll get Beyond Good and Evil 2 as well.
Oh, now we're dreaming.
Pipe dreams are there. They're real. Yeah, it's man. You know,
that one's on the shelf next to Dishonored 3.
Oh, ow.
It all hurts.
I definitely wanted to get into Perfect Dark. Back in the day, I was on other stuff, and that was so long ago. It'd be nice now to get into a new version of Perfect Dark. It'd be cool to see the original.
We can play the original, just stepped up in resolution. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it is on 360, and via the arcade, we can play it still.
Perfect Dark Zero, right?
No, that's the second one, which I believe is also there. But through the Rare replay, you can get it as well. Perfect Dark, the original, and we could play. It's called. It's not co-op. It's co-competitive or something like that, where I get to play a bad guy on the map, and you get to try and get through the map. It's almost like
Deathloop.
It's almost like Deathloop that way. Yeah.
I was gonna say it was Deathloop from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I've never played Perfect Dark. So I'd be
and now
cool
when
to swing over to play.
You can play it with 2 thumbsticks now instead of C buttons and the thumbstick.
The old controls back in the day, Scott, were horrendous. But let's get into something new and exciting. Multiversus will get Black Adam and a new arcade mode this week. That's pretty cool. It comes from Chris Scullion over at VGC. Black Adam will be joining the Multiversus roster later this week. It's been confirmed. A tweet on the official Multiversus account revealed that DC Comics Anti-Hero will be added to the game as its 22nd playable character. Joining Black Adam.
There's a lot of characters on there.
There is a lot of characters there.
I haven't played in a couple weeks now.
Me either. Actually, it's no longer on my system because I just downloaded COD, which took up 150 gigs. Yeah, a couple other things I'm working on. It's nuts, man. Game sizes they gotta shrink those down, man, or give us a bigger hard drive. So
when I look and I see 60 something, oh, that's a small one. Ooh, have the times changed?
I'm like, woohoo, bonus! I still got room. I have no room now. Joining Black Adam is a new arcade mode, which will also be added to the game at some time. Although it's not clear what the mode entails, it's believed to be a traditional arcade style format where players fight through a series of opponents. So that's cool. They're still supporting it. I wonder what the player count is, because at one point it did hit 20 million players, right? So it was going strong there for a long time. I wonder if it's still sustainable over there for the team, and what the competitive scene. I just saw they had a tournament too, and NA East had a tournament going on, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay. It makes a lot of sense. This is I guess it's really close to Smash Brothers.
It's a Smash, yeah.
Right.
It's I'm not certain if that little subgenre has a name exactly, because it's not an anime fighter. It's a
Right.
brawler, more or less.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
being a brawler, it could pick up steam. It could be very popular. And we've seen Smash Bros. Endure through the years in many iterations. Hashtag free melee.
Yeah, for sure. Scott, yesterday we talked about it. We're going to talk about it a little bit more today. It's Star Wars Jedi Survivor, reportedly still on track for March 2023 release on PlayStation 5 and Series X and S. I'm going to call it right now. This is over on Push Square. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is reportedly still on track for a March 2023 release on PS5. That's according to journalist and industry insider Jeffrey Grubb. What a guy, who let the tidbit loose on a recent episode of Giant Bomb's Game Mess morning podcast. As the conversation shifted to companies recognizing the benefit of single-player games featuring shorter, more focused campaigns, Grubb brought up the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, noting that the anticipated sequel is still on track for the March release date, as we've been saying this whole time. As EA has been saying in its earnings report to investors this entire time, the big partner game is coming. That's always been Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Dude, I'm excited. No actual release date, just March.
Yeah.
On track, though.
I'm hoping it's not March 32nd and we get another delay here.
Right? Yeah, another fiscal year changeover. It's... yeah, we don't need those. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long time since we played Fallen Order.
Then again, I say that, but at the same time, we also don't need another single free game, or new game rather, after God of War or Starfield. There's so many things on the horizon now. If they stopped producing games next week, I think I have enough to ride out the lifetime.
My backlog of games is amazing. Yeah. I'll never catch up. It's so disappointing sometimes to look at my backlog of games and going, well, nope. Okay, I'm gonna go over this one.
At a certain point, we're both gonna have to retire and just watch. Get the latest things.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's pretty cool. I'm glad it's on track. I don't want to see a delay, but again, a delayed game makes for a better game most times, hopefully. So yeah. We'll take the delay if it happens, but man, March.
I'm struggling to remember the quote. A bad game on release may be a bad game forever, but
it's not the case anymore.
Yeah, a game delayed can be good.
Yeah, it's just not the case anymore, right? That's the thing. Look at No Man's Sky. We've seen Cyberpunk 2077 pulled around. That with today's technology, it doesn't matter. I think
fingers crossed for Battlefield, but it's not looking good so far.
No, it's not. Scott, what is looking good as our releases for today? What do we have?
We
actually got some news first.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a list here. The DualSense Edge will be available for pre-order in Canada from select retailers on October 25th. Launches alongside the global launch on January 26th. And they have some pricing here. The DualSense Edge controller is $269 Canadian. And replaceable stick modules, okay, so little accessories there, $24.99.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I need this controller. So
I really like my Elite controller. I waited way too long to grab it.
Told you.
We have Mount and Blade 2, Bannerlord, and that is coming to PC, PS4, 5, Xbox One, and X. We also have Age of Empires 4 Season 3 begins today, and that is on PC. I believe that's in the Xbox ecosystem.
Yep.
Biomutant is on Switch. Victoria 3 is on PC.
Not a bad list for today, actually. The DualSense info is nice. I cannot wait for that controller. It looks cool. They showed some graphics with God of War. I'm like, man, if you would have lined it up for the release of God of War, we could be in a whole other ball game right now. But I'm just saying. Scott, just like that, my friend, that's going to wrap up today's show, everybody. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. Join us every day at 11 a.m. Eastern over on Twitch and YouTube. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.